What is going on, YouTube? It's Trevor here, coming at you from the Tesla and FSD yet again. I am here to talk to you guys about Metaplanet stock because there is some huge news and things that I've talked about before on this channel of reasons why I think Metaplanet has a long way to go as far as their business, how much Bitcoin they own, as well as what's important to us is the share price, right? The Bitcoin per share, as well as the share price of Mtplf if you're in the United States. So yeah, if you're interested in Metaplanet, Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, these kinds of things, definitely subscribe to the channel. Like the video and let me know how below how many Metaplanet shares you got. So let's get right into it. I do want to say, hey, it's been a little while since I made a video, maybe a week or so. I've been on vacation, as well as like a work trip. So yeah, it's been a busy past couple weeks for me, but I'm back to making videos every day. So yeah, here we go. The new Metaplanet news. This is groundbreaking stuff, and it's stuff that it's ideas that I brought up on this channel prior, basically suggesting that they're going to basically, you know, set up a policy where they can buy back shares if the MNAV ever gets below 1, right? Because if they truly are in this, acquiring Bitcoin to have the very largest Bitcoin company in Japan, which is what they've claimed for the past like over a year, past like 2 years-ish, then they need to establish trust with their shareholders, right? And one way to do that is, if the MNAV is below 1, create a policy and do something to where you have money, cash in on hand, right, in order to buy your shares back, right? Because if the company's seen as investing their own money not only in Bitcoin but also in the share price, right? If the people that run the company are buying back shares, that means they know something. That's across the board. You know, Apple's been buying shares for a long time. The big companies, you know, any company that buys their own shares, it suggests something, right? It's like it's saying, hey, we're undervalued in some way, right? We believe the market is wrong, like wrong with like caps and like 3 exclamation marks, right? So that's exactly what Metaplanet did, right? So they said, hey, if our MNAV is below 1, if we are valued at any time below the worth of our Bitcoin holdings, we now have established credit line where we are going to go buy back our shares, right? Because we think our shares are undervalued and we want the share price to go up. So basically, if they hadn't have done this, personally, it would have sketched me out, right? Which is why in previous videos, I've suggested, in order to establish credibility and trust with your shareholders, as soon as your MNAV goes below 1, you need to establish some sort of policy like this. And what do? They did exactly that. So it's like, not only are they just buying Bitcoin, but they're also buying their own shares back, right? So there's 2 roads you can go, right? One road is you just buy Bitcoin forever, right? Well, the thing is, if you're just buying Bitcoin forever, the CEO, the executives at the company could potentially dilute market share so terribly, right? I mean, at the end of the day, they could dilute under an MNAV of 1 if they really wanted to, and not accrue Bitcoin in an accretive way to shareholders. They could not do that. They could just continue to dilute, and then if they really wanted to, they could also just like not use that money for Bitcoin, or they could just continue buying Bitcoin and not care about the shareholders at all, right? So that's one way. Or the other way is, hey, establish a policy where if the MNAV is below 1, boom, you can buy back shares, right? And to the point where your MNAV is 1. Because as soon as they buy back shares, there's less shares on the market. You and I, as shareholders of Metaplanet, we're doing good, right? That means there's less outstanding shares. I mean, they're literally buying shares. Like they're creating demand. They're reducing the supply of the shares that are outstanding. So they're going to increase the share price just by simply buying their own shares back, right? As well as establishing trust with shareholders, right? So basically, the company is not only, you know, interested in buying Bitcoin and accreting Bitcoin for shareholders and accumulating as much Bitcoin as possible, but they are also, which is very important, they are also concerned with the share price, right? So they want long-term shareholders to be profitable on this asset, right? So this is a big deal. It's a very big deal that they went this route, and it makes me very happy. And I've claimed this in previous videos. I told you guys before that they're going to buy back shares at the MNAV below 1, and to establish trust, they absolutely need to. They need to. Like there's no if, when, or, you know, whatever. They need to do this in order for me, myself, and I to feel comfortable continuing to purchase Metaplanet shares. But guess what? That's what they just did, which is a pretty crazy idea. You know, it's like the amount of trust that Dylan LeClaire and even more importantly Simon Garovich just got with me is really quite a lot, you know. So that's the first big deal. The second big deal that they came out with is they've came out with a policy that says that they are not going to be diluting with an MNAV of under 1. So that's good. I would like to see that a little higher. They're not going to dilute under an MNAV of 1.5 or 2 or something like that. I'd rather see that. But at least this is a step in the right direction where they're saying, hey, if we are not accreting Bitcoin for you, we will not be diluting you, right? So if your Bitcoin per share does not go up, we're like, it's a policy. It's a policy like that they've established, and that's, you know, if they went against this, I'm pretty sure they could actually have like a lawsuit on their hands because they've announced it to shareholders that, hey, we will not be diluting at an MNAV under 1. So that's very good. That's another way to establish trust and reliance. Not even necessarily reliance, but like trust in the company and in the executives at the company that are running it, right? So that's a big deal. The next thing, okay? I don't know how many of you guys follow Chicken Genius Singapore on X, but if you're Metaplanet shareholders, I highly advise to go check out Chicken Genius Singapore on X, right? Because he talks about quite a few different stocks. He talks about Bitcoin a lot, you know. He believes that Bitcoin is like the hardest asset in the world, and we agree there. Well, this guy, I can't remember how many shares he bought. I want to say it was like 300,000 or something like that. It was like, I did the math, and it was close to $1 million worth of shares at a share price around like 290 or something like that. And we've already seen that share price get annihilated. I mean, Metaplanet, I think today closed at like $3.30 or something like that. So, I mean, it's a good look, right? It's a big deal. When you have an influencer with that many subscribers and that much influence is really what it boils down to, saying that he's buying, you know, $1 million worth of shares at basically an MNAV less than 1. So it's a big deal. So yeah, guys, I guess that's all I have to say today. Metaplanet's a big deal. If you're interested in Bitcoin, you're interested in MicroStrategy, you're interested in Metaplanet, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and like I said, let me know how many shares of Metaplanet you have in the comment section below. All right, guys, have a great day.